Welcome to Caution Flag Contemplations podcast, a racing show by the fans for the fans. Welcome into this, the 14th episode of the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. I am Casper, the host. Here with me today, we have D Wat returning again, 2 weeks in a row, baby. 2 weeks in a row. How does it feel?
Oh, good. Good to be back.
How was your newfound fame over the week? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Well, you were like, yeah, I'm podcast famous now.
Podcast famous. Podcast hero right here.
Yeah, they probably like put your picture up from work, you know, did you just get a printout or something like that?
I let them all know about it, and I think some of them watched, or watched and listened on.
So. No, it must not have been too many, because it was not a great week on listens and views. I'm going to be honest with you. But
all right.
It is what it is. It's because we were too long. We were like an hour and 26. So for those of you that are still here 2 minutes in, we're going to try to keep it down more at like a reasonable time of around an hour tonight, if at all possible. But I don't think it'll be a problem. We don't have all that much. Next week's going to be a struggle, I'm just going to tell you. But yeah, well, before we get into the show, old Casper here wants to file a couple corrections from the PR side. There was a couple of ignorant things that came out of my mouth in particular last week on the show. Things that I knew, I forgot that I knew. One, Rockingham is 100% in North Carolina. I apologize to all my North Carolinian family for the personal offense that y'all took, me trying to take that great town out of your state. That was stupid. I could explain why, but it's not going to make sense. Anyways, it's like 6 miles from the state line, just for the record, and I used to drive to South Carolina when I would drive past this racetrack and then drive back past the racetrack in North Carolina. It's a long story. But anyways, it is in North Carolina. My apologies to the state of North Carolina for ripping you off for one of your greatest racetracks, which leads us to this, because it was in the state of North Carolina. I also said something about the pavement being 20-something years old. And it was actually 2 years old. So, whoop-dee-doo there, Casper, the host. They repaved it in 2022 with that same bill that the state of North Carolina passed. The whatever, I don't know the name of it, so I'm not going to quote it. But the one where they got money to fix North Wilkesboro and a couple other tracks in the state, just to try to bring the business back to racing, because, you know, North Carolina has a big business in that. So they did repave it then. Casey Kane, this is why I felt so dumb for forgetting it. When he went to the original test, like, he didn't know they had repaved it, and he showed up. He's like, hey, nobody told me they repaved this bitch. So, you know, it is what it is. But so those are my corrections, my apologies. We'll take that as -2 for Casper, the host, on an intelligence level from the show last week. Kind of like this number 2 on this Jesse Love shirt, -2. -2 because you got your win taken away. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. All right, D Wat, what'd you see this week, buddy? What got your gears grinding in the race?
Oh man, let's see here. Yeah, let's see here. So I was off on Friday, so I was able to watch some of the I-75. That was a good race between Hitchcock and Weiss, and so I thought that was very good. And then I watched Tazewell, and I watched the truck race, and then I watched the Xfinity race as well. So I was spent this weekend at the house mostly just watching racing really all weekend long. Yeah. So it was a good weekend for me.
Yeah, we're getting back into that like super every day there's a race pretty much. Yeah. They actually had a race on Thursday last week. I didn't know it was a Mars race.
Oh, the Mars! I think I watched some of that one. The end of that one, I caught some of it. Yeah,
like Cedar County or something like that.
Cedar County. Yeah. And then they went to that next night.
34.
The 34 Raceway. Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. But well, who got the wins there? That was Bobby. So
yeah,
Shepard won. So that was like back-to-back wins for him basically, and then Bobby goes and gets 2 wins, I think, Friday and Saturday, from what I got here. So Bobby Pierce is fast. For those of y'all that didn't know, I know that's probably a big surprise. I'm sure he'll be ready to have a big weekend down there at the big track, Talladega.
Oh,
just kidding, the short track. But yeah, I don't know. Well, my highlights of the week: Newport reopened. They had a absolute banging crowd. It was huge, packed out. The news went there. I hope they continue to go to these local tracks in town and talk about racing. You know, a little segment. You know, on Mondays would be a good thing for them, or Saturday or Sunday or whatever. You know, shed some light on these racetracks in town. These people need to go. It's a good place to take your kids, good entertainment. It's cheap. Cheaper than going to a movie. Cheaper than going to a Tennessee game. Sorry I said that out loud. I mean, we have Smokies in town now. It's probably pretty close to that on price as far as tickets go, but you're definitely getting a lot more bang for your buck with the racetrack. So, just saying, go to the racetrack. Take your kids out there. So that was also Newport get reopened. They had a limited late model race. I think it was like 15, 10, something like that. Martin Nesbitt was the winner of that race. So good to see them back and open. They start the regular points this week. Glad to see that. Another asphalt track over there, the stadium at Bowman Gray, baby. Week 1, Madhouse engaged. I'm guessing it was some kind of late model class. I don't know what it was, but these boys are just swinging at each other.
It was a brawl.
What was your take?
I saw.
Or was it just on the track?
It looked like it was in the football field there. I saw a highlight on X. They were going at it on the cool down lap, or at some point on the track, they were bumping each other, and then after the second bump, after both cars were ultimately destroyed, it looked like the guy got out of the car, and then it was like, "Let's go, come on!" And the guy that was starting it or ended it or whatever, he had his helmet on, and then there was security. There was probably from what I saw, there was probably 25 police or more, security. And then there was one guy trying to hold this guy back, the driver, and he got loose from the security guard, and then he took off, and then they got in the football field, and they were like wrestling. I don't know if it was fighting or any punches.
Full WWE mode.
Full WWE mode, and then the guy had the helmet on, the other driver, and then they just like a bunch of pile up in the football field. So
I hate whenever they do that. So,
I'll take it off.
If Bowman Gray, if you're watching, anybody that promotes it, Flow Racing, who has the video rights, take you some spray paint. Go out there and paint you a box like this, and tell them if they fight there, winner gets $500, loser gets to go home with a bloody nose, and then have the cops stand one each corner, and then whenever somebody hits the ground, go in. But just let them beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah, that was most cops I've seen at a race that I've seen like on TV or anywhere. They had a bunch of them, way more than usual. But I guess you got to have them. Because,
like we were talking about the other day, like these dirt tracks don't even have cops on the property hardly, and these asphalt tracks, man, they're out there. I guess some guys just go at it. I don't know. I was laughing because the one dude took like a half. He cut right in front of him a little bit and put a little herky jerky on him. And then the other guy just gets pissed off and completely just takes the front of his car and runs to the back of his car. And I'm like, dude, you just jumped your entire front end for no reason at all. Like, you could have rubbed him, you could have hit him in the door, but instead you just, like, gassed it right in his rear. And, like, I mean, obviously the front of a car's got a lot more parts and pieces that you can mess up. So I thought that was kind of stupid, especially being week 1. But I wasn't watching the racing. But, it's one of those things. The helmets go on and the brains go right out the window. So looks like a good time, but still would like to go there one day. It's definitely on the bucket list to get there for that. I think it's cool. They're running late model stocks, just for the record, at Newport on the points. I saw that today when I was looking through what their classes are going to be. That's pretty cool. That's not something that they run everywhere in the whole country, so I'm definitely excited to see that. And still going to try to get out there at least once this year. Another new track in our area, Gold Mountain Speedway, which is in, that's Spencer? Sparta?
Sparta. I believe it's in Sparta. I saw some highlights of it. The past few weeks they've had some practices. Now they got maybe a race that's coming up or going on. So it looks like a pretty cool place, banking wise. Is it like a 3/8 maybe?
Yeah, I think so. So I'm pretty sure, first of all, that our buddy with a white Jeep that we used to hang out with with another buddy of ours, I'm pretty sure he took his Jeep up there at one point and like did off-roading on the racetrack.
But they have an off-road park.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that seems to be pretty big on Facebook that I've seen, and then now the track they kind of got it going. So it looks. I'll be curious what they run and if they can get some series in there in the coming years.
Well, be kind of cool to go to. They have their first, touring series race there. The Hot and Ready 40 by Little Caesars Pizza. 3 pay to win crates. American All-Stars, baby.
Okay, there we go. When's that?
So May 9th, I
May
believe, is the
9th.
date I saw.
Okay.
I don't have that in here, but I did see May 9th. So I'd like to get out
Okay.
there and try that one. Now, here's interesting. So Sparta, if y'all don't know, is pretty close to Crossville, Tennessee. Randy Weaver drives a crate here a little bit, and I would say there's a good chance he's going to be up there in that 17 CVR house car trying to win that race. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. That's not too far from the house for old Randy, being at the Gold Mountains. So always good to see old tracks get reopened. Hope they have a good time. Also like to get out there this year for sure. We got kind of a lot of new racetracks to go to in our area between Newport there and oh shoot, what's the other one? Big South Fork. I haven't seen an
Big
update
South
on it in a
Fork. Oh
while,
yeah,
but they're
I
supposed to be
haven't
opening
either.
it up at some point this year too. So it's definitely some things I want to do. I still haven't made it to Wartburg. Been trying to go there for like 10 years. I don't know what Crossville's doing. Still like to go there too. So, but we'll see what happens. So, yeah, that'd be cool. So if you can make it up to the Hot and Ready 40, I mean, I really like the name.
That's a cool
I'm
name. I
assuming
like
it's
it.
a 40 lap race. Okay.
It better
Hey,
be.
did you see the comments on TikTok? That guy did clue us in on the Line 100. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh,
I know
I
you
didn't
made a
see.
TikTok. You made your TikTok debut.
I'm on TikTok, baby.
Y'all be sure to find D Wat on the TikTok. I'll be sure to tag him in some stuff this week. But yeah, this guy commented on our video in that clip talking about being 100, and he was like, well, it's because they raced 40 on Friday and 60 on Saturday, and I was like, I mean, I follow the logic, but it's still stupid. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do we call the World 100 the World 125 because we raced a 25 lap feature on Friday or Thursday or 150? No, it's 100 laps. So I don't know. Hot and Ready 40. I hope that'll be a 40 lap race. I'll let you know when it happens, but we'll see. I hope that the ticket stubs come at a $1 off a Hot and Ready pizza from Little
Oh, they better
Caesars.
some kind of promotion. Yeah.
I mean, I hit the slices and sticks for lunch today just to support because they're supporting local racing. So good job at Little Caesars, and shout out to y'all for that. I'm sure it's a local franchise, but still, that's awesome. I thought that was. I really like races with good names, like the Go for 50. That's a great name. Mountain Moonshine Classic. It's not perfect, but it's good. But I really like the ones that have the lap count in the name. You could put yourself in a box because like I said, it's stupid if you call it the 100 and then you change it to 60 laps. And as we're going to talk about when we get to Tazewell, laps on these late models, boys, them tires, they just don't make it. So we'll see what happens. But anywho, I guess that's about it. Kind of sum up the highlights other than the racing that we're about to discuss over the weekend. So it's a busy weekend. It's about to get busier. I was looking at the Dirt on Dirt, their schedule. If those of you don't have Dirt on Dirt, you should definitely get it. It's a fantastic website if you're a dirt fan. Would recommend, but I was going through the schedule for this weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, they're all racing. We're kind of just back. We're going to get you kind of the list. Lucas, World Outlaws, Mars, Comp Cams, Spring Nationals, Dirt Car Supers. Then you have, and so like World Outlaws, Lucas, Spring Nats, Mars, Carolina Clash, Topless Outlaws, and then you get in these crate series, which for me, I love all these crate series. Rush, Crate Racing USA, the Red Clay, which is 602 series that was up here last week. I mean, like it's just race after race after race. And I looked at next weekend, it ain't about to slow down. So the car counts are going to go down a little bit because everybody's going to get split up and run their own series for sure. Kind of up this point, there hadn't been too much overlap, but kind of getting to where we're at now. We're in the heart of the season, and it'll slow down. But lots of dirt racing to watch. So, anyways, this week's race, I-75. You said you watched it.
Yes, I watched them every lap.
I wanted to go on Friday. I had the kid, and I was like, man, like Hot Laps was at 6:45. Yeah. It's gonna be a late bedtime for him. Yeah. We were gonna go to Chattanooga on Saturday and ride the train, all this stuff. So I was like, I'll just watch it from the house. Plus, I wanted to watch the truck race, which 5 o'clock. One more thing about Rockingham: no lights, no lights. Old school, baby, old school. I was scared to death they were not going to make the end of that. We'll talk about it when we get to that anyways. But I-75, 40 cars showed up for 10K to win. They also had the 602 Red Clay late models. Yeah. They only had 16 cars. I thought it was a little weak car count for that. I was kind of surprised they didn't have more, but I think a lot of those 602 guys around here are really run like a sportsman class now and like open motor or something. Open 602s basically, but I'm not 100% on that, but I think it's what's going on. So Hayden Cardwell. We'll go ahead and cover that one. He got paid to drive a car he's never driven. He parted ways with his car owner for a 604 late model. I don't know that he's got anything exactly figured out yet. So somebody's like, hey, you're pretty good over there. So gonna give you some money if you go race his car." And he did race, and he did win, and it was a good time. Now, did you see the? It was Booger Brooks and Seth
I
Wimpy. Did you see that
I
nonsense?
saw that. So Wimpy had the problem on the caution lap
Yeah,
before, and then he got pushed off in the caution lap. So I was like, all right,
yeah,
something's possibly going on with his car. And then
yeah.
was it the next lap or that restart or something like that? Then Booger
Well,
ran right into him, and I like Booger, and I hate to see that running second and get. Then he was out. He was done. So
yeah. It was one of those things like so. I don't know exactly what happened to Wimpy, and I tried to like
yeah,
scroll Facebook, and everybody was just
I
basically
didn't.
bitching
Yeah.
back and forth.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah.
it looked to me like it was like 2 laps after restart or 1 lap after restart. He came off the corner. It looked like the car died basically, and I
Yeah.
don't know if Booger just had that good of a run. I don't know if he got. You come up out of the bottom down there. If you hit the mud, like you have no traction. But if you hit it right, like you're pretty quick. And I don't know, something happened. Booger smashed in the back of him. Probably knocked out the radiator of his car because he hit him pretty hard. And so
Yeah.
they both had to park it, and Hayden was sitting in third, like ha ha ha, ha, and then somebody pushed him. So Wimpy and Booger were having a pretty good race though.
Yeah, it was going to be a good
Up
finish if
there,
they could have. Yeah, if they could have stayed together and not get taken out, then that would have been a good. That'd been
yeah,
good feature finish. But
for sure. What about Booger not having the one on the car? It was
yeah,
just a
I wonder what
48.
happened
Break your
to
heart?
that. Yeah,
Hurt a little bit.
yeah, when I didn't see that, I was like, wow. I wonder if he's just kind of out of that phase or just trying to change it up a little bit.
I'm guessing it's about the car owner. He's done
Yeah,
it from
okay.
time to time.
Yeah,
We'll see him around, but yeah. So that was kind of sad to see him because obviously I was pulling for him too. So, anyways, Hayden Cardwell goes on to win 602 for 2K. Congratulations to him. All right, I-75 10K Southern National Spring Nationals point series, I suppose, but 40 car show. Hot laps. 23V, Corey Hedgecock was the fastest out there on the racetrack at a 15.338. Group A qualifying comes out, beats it 15.291. John Obi was quick in Group B with a 15.509. I thought he was going to maybe give Corey a little shot there. I thought Corey was going to be pretty good, but I knew it was kind of going to come down to what happened as far as actually getting going. So the first heat was absolutely loaded. It was like, it was just a bunch of guys that went. Jimmy Owens, Mike Marlar, Tyler Erb, and then here you're talking about like Jensen Ford, Corey Hedgecock, and there's only 4 guys get in. You're like, oof,
yeah.
somebody's gonna miss. Cameron Marlar might even been in that one too. No, he's in heat 2. But yeah, so Corey goes on to win the heat over Jensen. Jaden Frame in the Jason Riggs machine. I think that's new. I don't know that I've seen that yet this year. In the 81F, finishing third. Jimmy Owens finishes fourth to get in. And Mike Marlar and Tyler Erb both missed via heat 1. Tyler Erb was terrible at I-75. And I can say that because he turned it around on Saturday night. But he was struggling, dude. He was at the back. Came out, ran the B main, finished last in the B main, last in the heat. It was a tough night for him. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Heat 2, Dale McDowell goes on to win. I was like, oh Lord, it's gonna be a tough night for Corey because, if Dale gets him, then Dale gets him, and I know how that goes. So, Heat 3, dude, that was a nightmare to get that thing rolling. That was the one when, Ricky was behind. Was it Owenby? I guess he was behind. I think it was Owenby.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me check. No. He was behind Harrington. Harrington was like, hold on a minute. Harrington was in third, cutting to the front, and he just kept he was like making the lead before they got the corner. Like he was cutting under him off 3 and 4, just like in the middle of the corner, just leaving way before they're in the zone. And I felt like even the last start they went with the third one. I felt like he jumped that one too, which got him out in front. Ricky ended up winning the heat over OMB and 22. That was the same one. Harrington was going to make it. He was like running second or third, and the tire was going flat. That's why he started falling through. I was like, damn, what happened to him? Because he was quick, obviously, there on the restarts, but he started losing right rear going to the back. So the Warrior House car did make it in there. Old Rusty Ballinger, I believe, was driving it, did make it through that heat. Heat 4, knock it out. Had to overturn Garrett Smith, Mike Benedum, and Trey Mills. So they go on and get in the feature. And, They lined it up there. Let me pull it up here, get you guys to the lineup. And it was Hedgecock and Weiss, and I mean, it was over from lap one pretty much.
Yeah.
Tricky Ricky there on the outside, later down. Goes around the outside, takes over Corey Hedgecock.
Yeah.
Mac Daddy was back there. Garrett Smith. Nobody really, not a whole lot of passing. It was a little bit locked down, but Hedgecock made some ground up.
Yeah.
Did you, what did you think
Yeah.
about his moves there?
I thought he was good up top, and then Mac Daddy was good on the bottom like always. And then there was quite a few cautions. Because I picked Mac Daddy to finish up in front of. Last week that was my pick was Mac Daddy, but I thought he was going to have him, but then he kept getting a few cautions, and then he just kept running the bottom, which was good, and then he'd get by Hedgecock, and Hedgecock would come back by on the outside, and oh no, I thought it was a really good feature. Weiss was at one point he had some. I don't know if it shut off on him at one point there towards the end, and then he threw a couple of blocks on Hedgecock, and I know in the interview Hedgecock didn't care for it, but I don't know if those two just don't get. I don't know if there's a back history. I don't know the backstory between those two drivers, but it seemed like there's something that's been going on in the past, or
I think there is. I think
Okay.
it goes back to 411 just for the record. I'm pretty sure it goes back to Corey getting spun down the infield at 411. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that 100%, but I'm pretty sure that's who it was. He had that with a few guys there for a while. Since JP's not here, I'm going to go ahead and speak his mind for him. I'm just going to tell y'all off the rip. I kind of don't agree, but JP was texting me. He was ready to drive to Nyota and bend Ricky over and wear him out. I mean, which, hey, if you're into that, that's whatever. But JP was hot. He was not happy, which he's the biggest Corey Hedgecock fan I've ever met in my life. I'm a pretty big fan too. But because I'm a fan, I also know what you're going to get, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But, yeah, JP was pretty hot, and he's like, I just don't understand. And I said, well, there was that one time coming off 4. He could have wrecked him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He gave him a push, and he lifted. And I was like, look. And this is not a knock on Corey Hedgecock. It just is what it is. He works on his own shit. He works really hard. He has a race shop. He builds cars. He does everything himself. He's one of the hardest working guys out there in this area that I know of, and he's doing it at a pretty high level for somebody that's a regional racer, right? Like he's hanging with some of these World Outlaw guys at some of these races and stuff, and he's doing a great job. So no disrespect at all there, but at the end of the day, he is not going to wreck somebody to win a race, and he is not going to risk junking his car to win a race. And unfortunately, some people are, and Ricky Weiss is one of those people that is not afraid to lay it on the line. He's always been aggressive. He's junked a few being aggressive, and he's won a lot being aggressive. He's had a hot year there at I-75. He won there, I think, earlier in the year when I went there, too. So, I don't know. Ricky's got his stuff together. Ricky's figured out these tracks in this area since he's moved down here, running more of a regional schedule. He used to run Lucas Tour or Outlaws Tour, just kind of depending on the year. But now he's on this regional. He's really figured out these red clay tracks, especially those that are really pretty close to house. I mean, Monterey to Nyota is probably like hour and a half, maybe two at tops. That's dang near his home track. So, but Ricky's a good driver, and Corey is too. And I know Corey was irritated. And clearly his stick man. I mean, he said in his interview, like, they were telling me to block him, so he blocked him. And I get being irritated, but like, Corey, if you want, you're allowed to run over somebody. I mean, it's okay.
He had 2 chances. I felt like once coming off 4, and then there's one other point in that feature he had a chance to get rid of him, but he didn't. So I don't like that. I like it when guys can race it out to the end, and they did ultimately. They got to the end of it. So
a lot of respect for Corey for not just junking people. Like we talk about, and that's what I was trying to explain to JP. He's the iRacer extraordinaire, but like, he gets irritated because these guys are over aggressive and wreck him. I'm like, well, I mean, Corey could have been over aggressive and wrecked them both, and then how do you feel about it? Like, so I don't have a problem with him doing it. It's clean. The problem is, at the end of the day, like, this is what happens at all these Xfinity races at Martinsville and all this bull crap. Like, at the end of the day, if somebody is more willing to risk it than you, you might have the better car and be running a better line, but you still have to get past them. And sometimes getting past them means you got to do what they would do to you. And, I'm not saying Corey has to wreck him. I'm not, like I said, that's his decision to run second for sure. But he did make that decision, right? I mean, I seen it when they were coming off 4 that one time. He had the opportunity to just run him, spin him, pass him. And I don't think it would have gone well, but, like, the fans wouldn't have been. I mean, look, Corey can do no wrong at I-75, right? Like, everybody up there loves him. So, and Ricky's got a little bit of a. I mean, him and his crew guys got arrested at least once.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of a thing going with that, but I don't know. So it was okay. But yeah, for JP, which poor JP couldn't make it. He got stuck at work. He works at a dealership, and I guess they got a lot of broke down cars to work on, which makes sense. But I don't know. One day maybe they'll be first on race day. We'll see. But just shout out to my boy for all his hard work. Hopefully he'll listen to this tomorrow, and he'll be mad he wasn't here. But yeah, I just want to get his points in. Ricky's a dirty blocker, and Corey should have turned him. That's pretty much what he would say. So, Corey, if you're out there, do it for JP next time, because he won't miss many races that you're at. I'll tell you that. So he'll probably be there. So next time, turn him. But yeah. Anyways, Ricky goes on to get the win over Corey Hedgecock, Dale McDowell, Garrett Smith, Jaden Frame, Brandon Overton, John Obi, Jensen Ford, Trey Mills. Now, I have a note here. Overton was making a run up there and got a flat tire with like 18 to go.
Yeah.
They threw the yellow, came back. He was like third, I think, and he still made it back up there, like I said, to sixth after starting farther back on the restart. So, Brandon Overton had a hot weekend. He's getting that Infinity. Wow. I apologize. He's in the Longhorn House car this year. I still got my 76 purple hat over here. That's what's going on. But yeah, he is getting the Longhorn House car settled in, getting it dialed in, ready to go. So he is really good on Saturday too. They started a little slow. I felt like at speed weeks they were a little slow, but he's really getting that thing up and running. So no flat tire. He might have won that one. That's a familiar story we're going to get in here in a minute. So, but yeah, you get Ricky, Hedgecock, McDowell. I obviously, got smoked because I picked McDowell to beat Hedgecock. So JP did get the win on that one. Just for the record on the picks, I already deleted off the notes, but it was a tie, 2-2. We pushed one because Austin Neely didn't show up in qualifying.
I was looking for his name. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I was like, seriously? Yeah, it was wild. So I moved to Tazewell. Only 21 cars showed up at Tazewell, which it happens every time. Like, if you guys, if you're up here, you would know it sucks. Yeah. You get these huge fields the night before, and they go up to Tazewell, and everybody's scared. It's because it's fast. They junk a lot of race cars. It's rough on your equipment. It's a rough track. A lot of flat tires. Not really easy to pass. Really has a lot to do with your qualifying where you're going to finish that race. Although not this weekend, which was really nice. But it kind of is what it is. But yes, they get up to 21 cars. Austin Neely, I guess he's running that topless series this year, so maybe they don't have, they're not going to have superpower to hang with guys like Tyler Erb, I guess, in that car. So, and they probably don't want to wreck it because he's probably going to be a contender for their points championship in the Topless Outlaws. And I think they tip off here either next week or the week after. So I'm sure that's what they were focused on at the time. But yeah, so Tazewell Speedway, $21,000 wins. Is either 70 or 75 laps, something like that.
I think it was 70 or 75.
I think it was 70.
Yeah, 70
I have 70 in the notes.
Yeah,
so that is a long race up there, Tazewell boys.
I thought it'd be 50 or 60, or maybe 60. I didn't expect when I heard 70 on the broadcast.
Yeah,
that was a lot for.
I'm pretty sure. So I didn't get to watch qualifying because I was putting the kid in bed. But Overton with a 10.82. Does that not tie the track record there or break the track record? Did you watch qualifying?
I missed the qualifying, but Scott's got the record up there. Bloomquist does, but I'm not sure exactly what the time is. But it was set years ago, so he's had it for many. I think it was 2012 or 2013. He said it, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty quick for those of y'all that don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, dadgum, 10.8 up there is absolutely getting it. It must have been wet. It was also cooler in the evening, so I'm sure they could turn the power. Did you all see they were going off the light? I believe.
Yeah,
I saw something about the scoring loop.
I got logged in, and the scoring loop was damaged. I don't know if that means a car ran over it. Did they not bury the?
I'm not sure. I saw something before the race that they were actually like digging up the track trying to fix it, and they couldn't. Okay. And they got a little behind because we went to Chattanooga on Saturday. I didn't tell you this about my weekend. We came down there Saturday and took the kid and Pops out to the the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum down there in Chattanooga. Went for a little train ride. So we did that, and then drove home Saturday night. So that's why I missed qualifying. I was also like driving and watching the Xfinity race, but don't tell anybody that. I had a co-pilot because my truck's in Chattanooga. Yeah. Co-pilot drove that home because her car's in the shop. So, anyways, but yeah, so we watched that at home there. But yeah, that's absolutely hauling. That if you again, if you haven't been to Tazewell, go one time, and when qualifying starts, don't go get a cheeseburger. It's one car. I mean, I was kind of watching part of it while he was in the bathtub. I was like going back and forth between the bathtub and the TV, and I was just like, golly, they're on it. I mean, it's quick. So, but yeah, anyways. Overton sets fast time. Overton has a fast car. Wednesday do a dash, which I've never seen. Southern All Star.
Yeah, I saw that part. That was pretty.
Southern Nationals.
That was pretty cool. Was it top? Is it 6?
Yeah, it was the top 6.
Top 6. So I saw that one. That was pretty cool to see. And like just as a fan, that's a little bit more cars on the track for you. So
yeah,
I'll take it.
So the thing about it was because I only had like 21 cars. It was like. They ran that and then like 2 heats and then a B main or something. I don't know. It was I don't exactly know what they ran, but it was kind of funky. Yeah, they ran 2 heats because Mike Marlar won one, and then Michael Leach. Shout out to Michael Leach, all the way from Montana to Tazewell, Tennessee, baby. Get a heat win. I bet that was an experience for Michael Leach. I don't know what they race like in Montana, but I do know what he's raced so far this year, and it ain't been nothing like Tazewell. So that was cool to see him out there. That's a Lucas regular running the tour this year, so good to see him out there getting some laps in. But yeah, so then they did that, and I guess they pretty much just put everybody in the field because it was only, like I said, it was only 20. Well, it's 24, and they had some break. Did you see Travis Fultz in the 4.329? Like, they're rolling when they're starting the second heat, and whoever was leading in front of him checked up, and
I didn't see it.
And he, like, yanked it left. And them straightaways, dude, you hit the brakes on a straightaway at Tazewell, you're spun. So, like, he put it in the wall before it started. Ended up finishing the heat, which worked out good for him. He finished second in the heat behind Leach there. But I felt really bad because I got to where I kind of like that guy, too. You know, he's one of those guys up there at Tazewell that races every time they go to Tazewell and does pretty good. So, and he races, you know, some of these tracks down here, but he's better up there in the Tazewell area. So, there's always some guys that's just good up there. Like, they race there, they're good there. For those of y'all that don't know, if you go back and watch, Kyle Larson ran at one time with Davenport, finished second to Davenport there, and he was like, this place is a ripper. He said he wanted to put a 410 sprint car on it, and I'm telling y'all right now, I don't sit too close to the track because they will be hauling the mail at that place. They say it's like 3 stories, and like I was watching the highlights again today before we got on here about 5 o'clock this afternoon. I was like, man, like when they're 3 wide, kind of in the corner, it's like this car on top of this car on top of this car, not next to. It's like on top of. You know, it's just that's how banked it is. It's wild. So love watching the race there. Anyways, we get to features. Like I said, 7-lap feature. I kind of knew this was going to be a tire issue. They have tire issues there a lot because of the speed. I feel like there's rocks in the dirt up there too. I don't know. There's so many tires get cut there, and it's always part of the race. And like, you know, it's one of those things. Like we kind of talked about pit stops last week a little bit. Like sometimes if I was at Tazewell and I was in the race and it was lap 30 and I was running like 3rd, 4th, 5th, I might would just go get a set just in case. You know, they also have the new late model tires and all that. We're fans, so we don't work on race cars, so we're not going to get into the specifics on that, but I don't know how it affected all this stuff. But yeah, Overton was leading. I believe had the flat there. Cost him the race pretty much there. Tyler Erb smashing the top side the whole race, dude. Like, on the throttle from 11th, started 11th. He started 11th, and Owens started 13th. And, dude, just smashing all the ways around. Erb ends up winning the race, and after 9 cautions, 9, I repeat 9, that's amazing in a NASCAR race. Crap, that's like 4 NASCAR races worth sometimes, depending on the race. But it's, like I said, it's always kind of a race of attrition up there. That's why not a lot of guys go. It's rough on your equipment and everything. But really cool to see Tyler Erb get a win. I've talked about it on this show that he needs to find something, and glad to see him get a $20,000 win. I'm glad it wasn't like, $5,000, $10,000. Good $20,000 win. Tough track, and I said it on here last week that he'd be there because I know he loves to race there because he just likes to smash that throttle out of the turns. So glad to see that. But Mac Daddy was trying too.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a flat tire too, I believe. So it's kind of a shame how all that works. But uh, I don't know. What did you think about Taz? You got any notes? Did I cover enough?
Oh, I like the track just as a fan. It's freaking awesome. It's something different. It's kind of like it's just a high banked, something like Bristol, pretty much, for 3rd mile. So I
Yeah.
love it. I like going. I probably go about once a year or so, but when I go, man, the qualifying's awesome. The features are also very good. It's sometimes the passing can be tricky there, but as as guys have flat tires or break drive shafts or whatnot, then you can
Yeah.
pick up your spot. So I like it. It's always a. I guess they host at least 1 or 2 big ones a year.
Yeah.
So it's just a cool place, and I always enjoy it.
I guess kind of put a bow on Tazewell. This is what I'd say about Tazewell. One of the things I really like about it, I've heard a lot of good drivers there: McDowell, Owens, Davenport, plus all your local guys, Scott Bloomquist, all those guys. They all say at Tazewell you race the racetrack, and that's something different you don't see all the time, And I appreciate that part of it because it is really just a matter of like handling the racetrack and then run as best you can. Not messing up. So, to put a cap on dirt, coming up this weekend, we have Lucas Oil Late Models making a triple header after about a month off there. They are going to Georgetown, Delaware on Friday, 20,000 to win. Saturday, Hagerstown for 25,000 to win. Sunday at Port Royal for $10,000 to win. Just for the record, that was race Kyle Larson won in his first
Oh
ever
yeah.
dirt late model start a few years ago. So we'll see what happens there. What Outlaws going to the Talladega Short Track, right across the street from the Big Track, which is NASCAR weekend down there at the Big Track. So big time racing coming up. We'll talk more about Talladega and the asphalt side here in a minute. For us in our area, Spring Nationals, who we were talking about a little bit ago, go to Beckley Friday and Saturday, 4K to win Friday, 15 on Saturday. And we'll see what happens there. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of splits on the points and stuff. I saw Hedgecock was going to Talladega. He put that on Facebook today, so I guess he's not going after the Spring Nationals points. I'm sure he'll go after the Southern Nationals points when we get to the summertime, more than likely, as long as they don't overlap with Hunt the Front or whatever. But yeah, so we'll see where everybody goes. Like I said, with everybody being back up and running, car counts are going to be down a little bit. Not going to be 40, 50 a night. Probably, more than that 25 to 35 range most series, I would imagine. Talladega is going to have a good show because there'll be some guys with some limited motors and stuff. Probably try to run that. But we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. And be tuned in Friday and Saturday down there for the Dega. Saturday's going to be a long day, big dog. I'd love to go. The wife's on call, so I can't. I just found that out like right before I came out here to the show. But Saturday, 12:30, Talladega. This is a good transition asphalt. 12:30, ARCA, Cletus McFarland.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
and the 30 car for the
Yeah.
ARCA race. So that's awesome. Then right after that, you go to into Xfinity race at like 4. Then you go straight for Outlaws action after that. And
Oh,
I
well,
would love to go. That'd be a great day at the racetrack.
it'd be a great day. That'd be. I mean,
We did that. Me and D Wat did that one time with our
yeah.
buddy Marche Poo, and that's what my
Yep.
phone calls him. Just for the record, that's why I said that. That's what Siri calls him in my phone because of how some girl that I dated in high school put his name in my phone, so that's actually why it says that. But anyways, we went down there like Saturday, and we day tripped it. I don't know what we were like 17, 18. I don't know.
Something like that. 17, 18, yeah.
We took the skipper's truck down there,
Yeah.
and we made it home about 3 a.m. or something
Yeah.
like that. It was a good time, and I was like. I really was thinking about going for Saturday because I would love to go see Cletus Talladega. That'd be awesome. Oh, JP be so mad if I don't shout it out. Cletus got an iRacing win and Moon Car. Congratulations to that. Big time Moon Car iRacing. I don't know if you follow any of that on X. If not, Daniel, you need to look it up.
I'll check
it's
it out.
hilarious.
Okay.
But he got pushed by Hocevar to the win.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, he did get a win on that. JP says it's a lock. Cleater's going to win the race. So just go ahead and write it in. I just want to let everybody know. Garrett Mitchell to win the ARCA race. If you can bet it, be sure that you don't tell them you got your advice from us because we can't give gambling advice in no way, shape, or form. Do we have any idea how to do that? So don't hold me liable because I didn't tell you what to do. Anyways, yeah. So back to NASCAR, Rockingham, North Carolina. Pops called me on Wednesday or Thursday. He's like, "Hey," I was like, "What?" He's like, "Did you know how stupid you sounded?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, I just didn't want to go edit it. I was like, I'll just own it in the next episode and say I was an idiot, and then maybe people at least get a laugh and understand that. At least I'm real on here. And anyways, he's like, that used to be called North Carolina
It used to
Raceway.
be called, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like,
North Carolina Motor Speedway, or yeah, it's something. North Carolina
I
Speedway,
was
I think.
like, bro, thank God that I wasn't 90 like you. So I don't know that. Like, damn. I was like, Dad, they quit racing there. I really didn't watch any races there. I don't know what
Yeah,
the last year was, but I mean, I remember they
yeah,
took the trucks back there probably around when we were graduating high school, back in
yeah.
11 maybe
I think
2011,
so.
something like that.
11 or 12, something like that's what I heard on the
Yeah,
broadcast. And then it was the first time in, was it 21 years for the Xfinity or
Xfinity.
31?
Yeah,
Something. It's been a long time. And then,
yeah.
but
That's
I've got my thoughts on that. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But on what series should go there, not go there. I like it how it is now with Xfinity and trucks for now, and then we'll just see how it develops for Cup
yeah.
going back. But
Okay. Yeah, I actually want to hear that. So
okay,
why don't you go ahead? Why don't you go ahead and do that? So well,
okay,
no, let's talk about the race first, and
okay,
then we'll let you
sure,
give your overall opinion. That's fine.
okay.
But yeah, so trucks show up. Trucks race Friday night. I'm sitting here like knowing I'm gonna watch I-75. I got the kid.
Yeah.
Wife's out of town. I'm like, all right, we're gonna order some DoorDash. So I order a little Chinese, Japanese. I think it was Japanese hibachi, and on DoorDash. And I was like sitting down, getting my podcast notes ready. I'm like, I'm gonna watch some racing all night. He's gonna play outside in the backyard over here. That door right there. He goes out there and plays for 5 hours with a shovel and a daggum dump truck, and he doesn't want to be talked to or messed with. He just wants to dig in the dirt, which is great. I'm glad that my kid likes to play outside. But anyways, so I was like getting set up in here, and I was like, all right, well, let me see what time this truck race is. It's probably like 7. And I was like, oh, whoa. It's like 5:02. And this thing, it was on TV already. I was like, whoa, 5 o'clock. What the crap? Good Friday worked out really good for that. They don't have lights at Rockingham. It's just so foreign for me to think of a racetrack that doesn't have lights at this point, you know? There's not many
Yeah.
of them left. Definitely cool throwback, though, to like run it in the sun going down and all that. I really actually like that part of Rockingham. But truck race. The trucks have done a really good job racing this year. You
Yeah,
know,
it's been better. It's been a lot better.
like they kept it pretty clean. Not a whole lot going on. Lane Riggs wins stage 1. They did have that one early yellow, like lap 2 or 3, something like that. Connor Mozak and Bailey Curry got together and had that. Other than that, it was fairly clean. Like I said, Riggs wins the stage. Caden Honeycutt got past him in stage 2 there, somewhere around 15, 20 laps in, something like that, in stage 2. And he was looking pretty good. Lane Riggs' domination kind of going away. Just kind of notable. The 99 truck had no power steering. I guess that's Ben Rhodes, I suppose. The 99
Yeah, I
had to
believe
park
so.
it, went in the garage. I'm finding this whole thing to be interesting. And also, when you give your opinion, I want to hear this. Actually, when I was in
Okay.
the truck race, this whole thing about these guys that are going and making repairs and come back out, because it's mattering in every series. It might even
Yeah.
matter more in trucks and Xfinity than the Cup Series. But following that, Matt Crafton had an electrical fire. Our pick in this race was
Mm.
88 versus the 98 Crafton versus Majeski.
So,
Matt Crafton is who I picked. So
so
what?
then, yeah, I picked Tom Majesty.
You
So,
picked Majeski.
yeah.
Congratulations.
So when I saw that he had the problems and went to the garage, I guess I forgot that they can work on them now. I forgot that rule change. So I
Yep.
thought, okay, I'm feeling good about my pick. Yeah, my guy's gonna get, I'll
Uh-huh.
get that win on the pick. And then and then there he was back on the track again. And then Ty had gotten a wreck at some point, or something happened
Yeah.
with him. But I think it was a wreck. So, and then I guess he went to the ground. I don't know if he came back out or not. I saw his interview. He didn't sound like it didn't sound too good on his end. Like he made,
Majeski?
yeah, it sounded like he made a
He
mistake.
didn't come back out. Yeah, he
Okay.
junked it. Yeah, he's an idiot. He junked it. He can't drive. I tried to tell you all this. That's why I picked Kraft and y'all picked Majeski. I'm just smarter than y'all. I don't know what
yeah.
to tell you. 44 laps down, and my boy Matt Crafton got the win over Tom
Yeah.
Ty was running like top 10, and he just got a little. I mean, the racing of this place is so fast because new asphalt. It's pretty narrow, being the .94 mile track. Like that is great racing. Like I really
Yes.
enjoyed like pretty much every lap. Trucks did a good job holding it together. A lot of kind of give and take. Like
Yeah.
somebody get a little loose, everybody kind of check up and race the next corner. I really like that about the whole race. But yeah. So anyways, Lane Riggs goes on to win stage 2. go into stage 3, and that was when it started turning a little bit into a little bit of a truck race. There were some more cautions. They had a couple cautions there in that last stage, including Tom Majeski, which led to a red flag. I believe they had to work on the wall. Was that Majeski's wreck?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
And they had to
yeah.
weld the
Walden.
wall shut.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at the clock. I'm like looking out the window at the sun, and I'm like, boys, we ain't got time for no red flags. With the lights. So that was scaring me a little bit for them. But yeah, so they go along. Some other guys had some good runs. We'll talk about Garcia. What's his name? Justin Garcia. Is that it?
I think that sounds right.
Jake Garcia. Really good run.
Okay,
He was up front like all day in a 13 truck. I believe that's Thor Sport truck. So he was up there doing good, mixing up with Ankrum, Hemrick, Raja, Enfinger, Honeycutt, Corey Heim, all those guys that's usually up there at the front. Garcia, that's a truck that used to perform really well back in the day, and good to see that truck doing good again. I was glad to see him up there. So really good for him on that. But anyways, go on. And Tyler Ankrum ends up kind of running away with this thing. Pretty good gap. I thought there'd be another caution.
Yeah.
And I guess he kind of lucked out and didn't have one. So just kind of ran it out there. And Tyler Ankrum gets the win.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. They were talking about it. Dude, he hasn't won since 19.
I heard that on the broadcast. That's long. That's a long time.
I kind of remember him winning that race at Kentucky and being like, "Oh, this guy." I thought he was good, and like he's swapped teams a little bit and like, been in some different stuff. I believe he was like Red Horse Racing at one point with like Timothy Peters and all them, and but he's been good. JP, I'm kind of sad he's not here because he's been trying to tell me all year that Tyler Ankrum can't drive and he sucks. And I believe I put him in my championship for. Might even picked him as the champion for the Truck Series. Honestly, I have to go back and check that, but. Definitely put him in the Final Four. And, so he got him a win. He's locked in the playoffs. Good. Another good run for Daniel Hemrick up there, too. I think, Hemrick, Ankrum, Enfinger's going to be up there a little bit out. Heim's going to be in there for sure.
Yeah.
They did something dumb on pit stop there.
Yeah, Heim was running good at the beginning, and I don't know if it was just what their pit road plan was or what, but he – And with Heim he's good driver and he's always up front, but then something seems to be happening.
Yeah, and he's not
during
patient
the race.
Sometimes coming back through.
Yeah,
and that gets him. But yeah, sad about does it for truck race. They get it done. Tyler Ankrum wins, does a nice burnout and all this stuff. They were nervous about gas and all that kind of crap at the end of the race. So
it
worked out for him. There was only 7 trucks on lead lap of this deal.
That's unique.
Yeah, 7. I want to double check, make sure I was right. 7 trucks, and that was that. How that gas run with that late green flag run. Your last caution ended on lap. I'm trying to find it. Lap 123 was the end of your last caution. So it's 77 laps to the end. That's awesome. It was a great racing. Good to see them guys out there in the Truck Series. Racing like men. We're gonna talk about another series that races like. Bunch of losers. I'm not going to say women because I'm not trying to make fun of that right now. We'll talk about that in a minute too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so Xfinity. We're going to do this real quick because we're running out of time here. Catherine Legg, Casey Kane, 2 big highlights. Catherine Legg bought her way in the race. Nothing wrong with that. I just want to go ahead and be on her side here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's been happening in NASCAR for as long as I remember. Guys need to get in, especially earlier in the year when you start like new race teams. Even the Cup Series, you've had guys buying rides because they were going to miss a race because they didn't have their points bonus. She bought her way in there. Fine, don't care, not a problem. Anybody that's complaining about it, go home. That's been going on for years, forever, as long as I can remember. She has the money, that's fine. So quit complaining. Yeah, and then Case Kane, that's the other highlight of the race, making a start in the 33 car for RCR with Hendrick sponsorship, which is just kind of strange looking. It is what it is. It's just kind of weird. I don't know who the pit crew was. I'm assuming that was like the 17 crew, maybe from Xfinity, which is probably a Cup crew. I don't really know. But Casey was quick, and Casey got taken out after William Sawalich. This wreck was on William Sawalich in my mind. William Sawalich hits Catherine Legg. who left him the bottom and a half. And for some reason, he went in a half tall, hit her in the left rear, spun him, and Casey Kane had nowhere to go. And junked the right front, and he still drove the wheels off of it after that. But I felt pretty bad for Casey. I mean, obviously, I was pulling for him to be back in there and all that. So that was terrible. But I just want to point out, all you idiots that are making fun of women drivers, like, yeah, some women can't drive. I know one that had a lot of wrecks and not a lot of years. I'm not going to name her. Love her very much. But like, yeah, this had nothing to do with Catherine Legg, guys. She was up and out of the way. She was driving inferior equipment, and she left a line, and William Swalich decided that he was just going to run into her for no reason, as far as I'm concerned. And unfortunately, Casey Kane was the benefactor / victim. So is that how you saw it, or did you feel like it was...
that's the way I saw it. I saw some more highlights later on that evening on X, and the bottom was there, and it's like he just ran right into her. I don't know if he's trying to prove a point or what. I don't know about that guy, but I don't know much about him, but... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he just ran into her.
He's a rookie. It looked a real rookie mistake. I saw somebody found a picture of Kyle Busch doing this in an early Cup race, Xfinity race years ago. Kind of doing the same thing when he was younger. And, Swalch, I think he's a good driver. But, yeah, definitely like, dude, what are you doing? And, and he was like, she didn't leave me a line. Like, that track's not that wide. But she left him. It looked to me like a lane and a half from the paint. And he couldn't hit the hole. So.
That's what she says, because I heard some of her interview, and she just kind of said that that's what she says is I left the bottom there, and he just wrecked me. So
that was a shame. So Nick Sanchez wins stage 1. That's awesome to see him in the 48 car taking over for Parker Kligerman. Cool to see that. Stage 2, Dean Thompson somehow ends up winning on strategy. I guess that these guys were like kind of pitting before the end of the stage, just when the cautions fell. There were in the Xfinity race 13, how many cautions was it? 14 cautions for 83 laps in the Xfinity race. That's an absolute joke. This race was only 250 laps scheduled distance, and y'all had 14 cautions.
That's a lot.
Trucks had, what did I say, 9? 5. 5 for 33 laps on a 200-lap race. So 50 more laps and 9 more cautions. That's ridiculous. I don't know what the deal is with Xfinity, but they're going to have to figure that out, and I'm sure that they're going to get talked to about that again. But yeah, so we get to the end. There's all this kind of fuel crap going on. Ryan Sieg is just like hanging out there, dude. He was trying to win the daggum race on gas, baby.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here and I was like, man, I think he's like, I was talking to my co-pilot there in the truck. And I was like, I think he's gonna make it, dude. Like, I think he's gonna win this thing. And right about the time I said that, it was on that caution 10 to go. It like cuts off, and I was like, oh, never mind. He ain't gonna make it. He's gonna need some gas. I ain't got no gas in it. And yeah, so that was kind of a shame to see that. Yeah, so it works out for him. Anyways, they end up having a pretty good race there. They restart. Sammy Smith on the lead on this last overtime restart. We're not going to talk about the wrecks. Sammy Smith restarts on the inside, row 1. Jesse Love behind him. And I guess it was – I don't even know who was outside of him. Parker Retzloff, who had a flat tire. Really good run for him to come back in that 100 laps, by the way, because he was running up there all day and then that flat tire made it back up there. Apparently, that's just one of them dudes that just needs good equipment, because he was in some good equipment and he was up there. So credit to him for that, for sure. But anyways, Sammy Smith takes the lead. Going down turn, my boy Jesse Love right here, he said, boom, boom, mother trucker. And he moved him. He didn't wreck him. He didn't dump him. Huh? He moved him. And I was like, quintessential NASCAR right there. I mean, it was perfect. I loved it. Moved him, passed him. Sammy tried to get back to him. Couldn't. He didn't have enough speed to catch back up to Love. And Jesse ends up winning the race and does a nice little burnout up there. And, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. And then I'm like celebrating, lay down in bed, whatever, I don't know. And they're like, oh, Jesse Love disqualified. Mm-hmm. Yay. I know how much you love Jesse Love. So, yeah, so Sammy Smith, Mr. Wreck-It Ralph, ends up getting a, what do we call that? Mickey Mouse win, I guess.
Mickey
That's what, if Chase does that, they call it a Mickey Mouse win, right? So we'll call it a Mickey Mouse win. But no, I mean, Sammy took his lumps from Jesse Love, didn't go back and wreck him, kind of giving his Martinsville deal. I think that was a grown-up move to not just go in there and junk Jesse after getting moved. So, And then he ended up getting the win due to some kind of suspension issues on the two. Is that rear suspension?
Yeah,
Is what I've heard.
something about what something wasn't touching, or that was it like a I don't know all the terminology on some of this,
Yeah,
but
it's
something.
something about the truck arms and
Yeah,
spacer and
spacer. Yeah,
yeah. It
but
sounds like they figured out a way to get that, basically make it the rear wider, I think is what it comes down to. But we'll see what happens. They are appealing it. Did check right before the podcast. They are
okay.
appealing it. No penalties have been announced. I would assume that we'll see penalties on Tuesday around 5 o'clock because if his car wasn't legal, it's not just going to be a DQ. More than likely, there'll be penalties coming with that. Because if they DQ'd and they felt like it didn't happen during the race, which means they felt like it was intentional, which means somebody's got to get suspended and fined. In my opinion, I would think. So be looking for that tomorrow. If you guys listen to the podcast on Tuesday this evening, I'm sure all you guys have liked and subscribed. So, be sure to go ahead and, check that out. But we'll see what happens. So other than that, Sammy Smith gets the win. Parker Retzloff's finished second. Harrison Burton, I've knocked on him a lot this year. Gets top 5. Brendan Poole, Taylor Gray, your boy. Did you get your shirt in?
I did. I got my shirt, got it washed, and I was wearing it Saturday. So.
All right, well, that's good.
Uh,
I
yeah,
just decided to rip the Jesse Love shirt out because of the whole DQ. And I
yeah.
support guys that get DQ'd. So, but yeah, we'll see. Hey, y'all go out and buy some Xfinity gear. Me and D Wat were looking up there at Bristol, and there's just not a lot of it
There's
out there.
not a
Y'all need
lot.
to buy some more, so we can have it at the track. So
I thought there'd be more trailers for them, but just you got to go to the team trailer, and they have one little section in the
Yeah.
corner of so.
Yeah, they had like one Connor Zillett
Yeah.
shirt and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Y'all be sure to at least get online and order some. Help these guys out, if you like them. D Watt, he's kind of guilty for going to the Toyota thing, but
I went.
he's like, hey, he got wrecked a couple times. I feel bad for him buying a T-shirt. I appreciate that. So congratulations on that. Hope you enjoyed it. But I was hoping you're going to wear it tonight. I have that same shirt you're wearing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
For sure. I have that same one. Is that the Million
Yeah.
race win shirt? Yeah. I have that same one. So, but yeah, I don't know. So that kind of wraps up. So, all right, I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay. So
Should we not go back to Rockingham? Who should go back to Rockingham? Should we put lights in? What you think?
So Rockingham, I think they need to have lights. It'd be cool to have a night race, either the trucks or Xfinity. I'm glad it's back. So give me some lights. Give me the trucks and Xfinity for the time being, and then just kind of see how it goes for the Cup with what it takes to have a Cup race there with the parking and the seating and all that good stuff. I like the track, how it's banked and not very wide, and I feel like it's very racy. So I feel like the Cup guys could put on a good show, but Xfinity wise, man, they put on a great show. Thought it was racy, and I like the corner. They're tight, and then it's just a unique track compared to others on this schedule.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't. There's no reason to bring the Cup cars here because they'll be terrible. I'll just go ahead and say the current Cup cars would race terrible. What you were talking about the racing just being good. So like I watched trucks on Friday, and I saw those guys like put the power down and wiggle, and I was like, oh, it's so refreshing. I haven't seen that in 10 years. You ain't never gonna see it in a Cup car until they do something. It is what it is. But then the Xfinity cars, like you said, come out there, and I'm like, I mean, dude, they were on the edge every corner. I really like having the banking different. One end's 22 degrees, the other's 25 degrees. You got the D oval on the front. It's just a strange racetrack. Like we talked about Darlington. We talked about that with that one dirt track. I don't know if you listened to the show. I guess it's Ocala, where it's like real tight on one end, real big on the other end. Pocono, Iowa, all these racetracks that are just kind of different, like where the turns aren't all symmetrical. I think they race better. And this was like that to me. It has a lot of grip still. I want to keep going back. I think it's a good highlight weekend to not have the Cup cars there.
Yeah.
And the current Cup car configuration would be terrible. It'd be like Bristol. I think they'd be really fast. I think it'd be fast as hell, especially on that new asphalt that they have. Like, they took them this weekend, dude. Those Cup cars would be ripping around that place with wide tires and a million pounds of downforce. So, like, I was good with it. It's a good thing for the off weekend. I think Cup needs another off weekend. So to have this kind of event like on and off weekend works out good. For the teams, obviously it works out really well. It's Easter weekend, so like you can bring them back because it doesn't have lights. You can run that Friday afternoon race, Good Friday. A lot of people are off work and can get there. and then you have the Xfinity race, and it's the thing. I want to make it a longer Xfinity race, like
Yeah.
not necessarily a cup race length, but make it 300, 300 laps or whatever, and give them let that be like one of their biggest races of the year. When the cup isn't there, like make it a big race, like
Yeah.
make it a big time thing. And obviously they had the ARC cars there and all that too, which is good. Definitely a big fan of that. And I don't know what else they could run. Uh, Dale Jr. Car Store. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
would like to see the car store out there. I know that the track's a little long for their current, configuration, motors and all that, transmissions, all that stuff. I think that track would be a little long. They have changed gear and all that, but also I'm not sure that the speeds would be too high for those cars. I'm not 100% on that because again, I'm a fan, not a mechanic. But my understanding is they're really made for half miles, but late model stocks or something like that. I don't know. IndyCar, bring IndyCar.
No,
I think
that'd
it'd
be
be a cool
cool.
car. I think it'd be a really cool track for IndyCar. I don't know that it's wide enough to pass, but like
Yeah.
they run Iowa, right? That's a mile.
Yeah.
So, super cool track. I really enjoyed it. Modifieds, bring them all. But I'm with you. I actually think it's better without Cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cup cars would have been terrible. It would have been what we saw at Bristol, which was bomb atrocious. So yeah, let it be that way, and or we could bring back the old Cup cars with 1,000 horsepower and a little bit less downforce. We just didn't know what we were getting rid of when we got the next gen cars, did we?
No.
Like, they had just got that package to where like it was good downforce, clean air mattered, but you could still run somebody down, you could still move somebody out of the way. It was hard to pass, but not impossible. And like now, it's just, I mean, God, it's 30 air, clean air. It's tough, but yeah, I loved it. It's a great weekend. I thought great move by NASCAR. So, maybe they can do that somewhere else. As far as the crowd goes, I spent my whole week. I really am over racing anywhere twice. Interesting, comment from Pops. I was talking to him about that in the car when we were driving back from the train or something. He's like, we used to race everywhere twice, basically. And I was like, we did before we had all these road courses. We only had 2 road courses a year. We ran everywhere twice. They did Chicago twice, Kansas, Texas, Charlotte regular. There's a lot of places around us. New Hampshire, Michigan, Pocono. Like I mean everywhere. So I don't know that. I guess in the defense of the tracks, because I've kind of been out here on that whole like race somewhere once. I don't know that a track can afford to only race once a year. So, but if that's the case, get another series, IndyCar, whatever. Have some concerts. I'm sure you've seen Supercross is like not really racing in football stadiums anymore. It's
Oh,
always
yeah.
at racetracks now.
Atlanta's
So
got like
yeah, just do whatever you got to do. I think part of that is if you have the turf. I don't think they can bring the dirt in those buildings like that. I think it's
yeah.
part of that. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm still kind of riding that train. I think it's like 26,000 if I'm not mistaken. Something like that is what they had at Rockingham. Something like that. So that's a good number.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid crowd.
For a race. It'd be sold out
Yeah.
every time. So
Yeah.
did you see the train thing? The
I saw the segment on the train. Yes.
Oh, that is awesome.
And yeah, so it goes from was it Raleigh,
Yeah.
or was it okay Raleigh to the
They stopped in Raleigh, Cary, and Garner or something like that on the way.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a
Dude,
good idea.
can you imagine if we could get a train from my house to Bristol?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
We'd be drinking till the flag came out, dude. Be home in 2 hours. Sheesh, wouldn't that be nice? God, I'd love that. If I could take a train to Talladega this weekend, I'd go. Just saying. I rode that train for like 3 miles with the kid and dad. And dude, trains are fun. I enjoy trains and seeing views. So, anyways, but that would be a really cool way to travel to a race for sure. I would borderline take buses from Knoxville, which they do that to Bristol, but they're expensive. So, but I think that train was like $50.
That's what I think you said.
25 both ways, something like that. That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. Yeah. I would have been all about it. Take your backpack, eat some snacks. It's been a great time. But yeah. All right. Next weekend, Talladega, ARCA, 12:30, Xfinity, 4 o'clock. Those are both Saturday. Cup race, 3 o'clock Sunday. You have the World Outlaws Dirt. If y'all are down there, go to the Talladega Short Track. Go down there. It's a great track. They've made a lot of improvements on it. I really think adding that wall in turn 1 has helped the racing there. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's how the dirt stacks. I don't know if they've redone the banking. I hadn't been there in a few years, but it's a good time. So Y'all be sure to go down there. And then while they're doing track prep breaks, stand on the top of the bleachers, look at the free camping for Talladega, and you'll see people burning couches and campers and shooting fireworks and doing donuts and shooting guns and shooting heroin and God knows what else they're doing over there. But it's a good show to watch. When we went that one time, it was pretty wild looking back over there at what was going on over there. Do you remember that time they had it so wet down there at Talladega? I think it was on that NASCAR weekend, where the tow truck was stuck.
Yeah.
Like
I used to water it so much. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they probably still do. That's
Nah,
why
they probably,
so,
they still do probably.
but we'll see. All right, picks. Like I said, we had a tie for the week, three-way tie with all of us, actually. I do have JP's picks. He submitted them. He wanted me to get them in for him just so I can beat his ass one more time. And mine and his are already keyed, so you just let me know and I'll key yours. But starting off, Fort Outlaws. Ryan Gustin versus Nicholas Hoffman. The 9 versus the 19 at Talladega Short Track.
Ryan Gustin for me.
That's a good pick. I guess JP wasn't thinking, but I believe Ryan Gustin won down there with Hunt Front earlier this year. So, anyways, all right. Lucas, Halverson versus O'Neill, which this is on the Pennsylvania swing. I'm sure O'Neill's raced there more, but he's had a little bit of a rough year.
I'll go with O'Neill.
Okay, that's a good pick. I am also going to go with O'Neill. JP's going to go with Alberson. I feel kind of weird because I'm switching my picks. I put Alberson. I don't know why I did that. So, JP, I didn't say. JP picked Hoffman. So far, me and you's together, and JP's just out there on an island. So, JP, good luck. Cup race. Your old boy, Brad Keselowski versus Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. Oh,
my
man.
prediction is one of these guys is going to win this race this weekend, actually. Either one of them. It could be either one. But,
that's tough.
I'm going to go with 8. JP's won 6. So
I'm going to go.
What you need to know.
I'll go with Brad K. I go with the 6 car. I feel like he'll either wreck or he'll win, or he'll wreck or he'll run really well. But I go with Brad K.
I'd be curious if TJ's back for Keselowski. TJ Majors has been sick. I don't know. He missed at least one race. I don't know how many, but based off what I heard at Atlanta, him not spotting might be an advantage for Brad. So we'll see what happens there. Xfinity race. Austin Hill versus Sam Mayer. Obviously, Austin Hill has been daggum near undefeated here on plate tracks in the Xfinity Series.
I'll go with Austin Hill.
Chicken. I think Austin Hill's going to wreck, so I'm going to go with 41. JP also went with 41. So Mayer he's run very consistent this year, in my opinion, and I think he's got a lot to prove against the JRM guys, kind of. So last pick, I put this for the last one. I don't know why. Arca again, Butterbean Queen versus Garrett Mitchell. Obviously that's Cletus McFarland. I don't know how much you keep up with the Cleater McSkeeter, but we'll see what happens. Cletus has been down there. He took the Dale truck down there. Had Junior doing some drag pulls on a back stretch. Butterbean did win at Daytona though. First race, picked up the plate no problem. Straight from the short track to the plate race and got it done. So I'm gonna go with Butterbean. JP's gonna go with Cletus McFarland in the 30 car. And we'll see who one's going to go with.
I'll go with Butterbean.
All right. I hear you, Butterbean Queen. I unfortunately think that Cletus is probably going to wreck. And JP, I'll tell you what, if you're right, I'm going to buy you lunch one day because I want you to be right at this so bad. I want you to be bad at this. I mean, right, because I would really like, the internet would be broken. Like, it would be broken. Like, JP is like, when Cletus won that iRacing race at Talladega, he was like, oh, we can do it. We've made it in the fake world. We can make it in the real world. And I was like, yeah, but he only won that because Hocevar was locked on his bumper trying to push him up there. Because Hocevar, I guess, helped him get a sim rig and all this stuff. But I don't know, man. I hope he does it. That would be completely wild. I don't think the world would know what to do with that. I was going to see what that Fox race, is that race on TV? FS1, Cletus McFarland. And if he wrecks, you're going to get another fantastic interview like you did at Daytona. So y'all be sure to tune in. General Tire 200, Ag Pro 300, and the Jack Links 500. Doesn't get much better than that unless it's the Hot and Ready 40. So Awesome, Tom. What do you got? Anything you're watching for this weekend in particular down there at the Talladega? Any drivers we need to know about?
Um,
Anybody you feel like really needs to have a good weekend? Anybody that doesn't matter?
I feel like it's like as a fan, it's hard to pick a winner down there because anybody can really win. But I feel like at the end of the day, the top guys are going to be there at the end. You got to watch Brad. Joey's really good there. Brad can be good there when he wants to be good. I feel like he gets caught up in other drivers' mess.
No. It gets caught up from pushing people too hard. Don't get it twisted.
Hopefully Blaney can do something. He's a hit and miss down there, which he runs good down there. He's won a few. He's been a couple of close seconds down there, but I don't know. Hopefully it's be good weather and be good pack racing,
Yeah.
and it comes down to hopefully I like it when it comes down to a couple inches, and maybe one big one would be nice to see. Towards the, I like when the big one's about in the middle. I just don't like it when they ride around all day and then on the last lap then they wreck. I'd like to see some good
Yeah.
pack race throughout the day. Maybe give me a big one there in the middle and everybody gets calmed down and then I like it when they can go. I guess my at least favorite would be when they get a caution on the coming to the Y and then they got to restack them and then they never get a up to speed finish and then it's just like a
Yeah.
that end like I want it to, but you just never know those.
Hopefully they'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
I guess coming off the break, like just kind of like I was looking through points earlier, and I'm rechecking here. Some of these guys that really need to do better than they have been off this break that are actually decent plate racers. Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, 30th in points. I mean 31st in points. Noah Gregson, 32nd in points. Riley Herbst has been atrocious. As far as Hocevar's been good, but he just hadn't got a finish all year. I mean, he's been good, hadn't got any finishes. Ty Gibbs is a little bit on the rebound right now, but he needs to keep it up. He's still only in 20th. And then you got some of these guys like Kyle Busch. Is he ever going to get it done? AJ Allmendinger. Also, like this is one of his chances. He's won a few Xfinity races. He's never won a Cup race. I don't think at Talladega. He could have. I'm not sure. Maybe, but I don't think so. He's a decent plate racer. But like these are the guys that need to make something happen. Chastain, Busher. For me, I'm a Chase fan. We're sitting 5th in points, but like I still feel like we hadn't done anything all year. Just been consistent. So, win would be big for him. Stage win, still don't have one of those. Like, let's do something. I would really kind of like to see us go for some. As a Chase fan, I'd like to see us, as in Allen, go for a stage win here and try to get one of those. Maybe two. A lot of this is going to be guys are going to try to pit and flip stage or whatever they're going to do. So, that might be something to look at. And we'll see what happens. I hope there's passing, man. I hope we don't do this fuel mileage crap. I hate this fuel mileage thing at these plate tracks. That's really what I don't want to see. But these cars, I guess, all I can come up with is the amount of downforce that they have. Like, you just can save that much fuel. And then also being underpowered a little bit, you can just save that much fuel. So, hopefully there's not too much riding. For those of you that are real race fans, just remember, if they're 3 wide and TV's like, oh, they're 3 wide, they've been 3 wide since the flag dropped, just remember they're not actually racing if they're 3 wide. They're really going to race these cars 2 wide and then make a pass. So if they're trying. If they're trying to save fuel, they're going to be 3 wide, 4 wide, and they're going to be like 40% throttle. So be sure to check your throttle traces on NASCAR.com, and then you'll know. But other than that, D Wat, thanks for being here again.
Yeah,
Old
thanks.
JP down there holding the fort down, and who knows? We'll have you back soon, I suppose. So,
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for having
if
me.
not, enjoy your weekend watching some racing. Y'all got anything you got to do other than racing?
This
You just
weekend,
racing?
Lookouts game. I think my
All right.
yeah. So if we're gonna go to Lookouts game, my wife and I are gonna go to the Lookouts game. Try to go to the Tennessee game. They had a little scrimmage down here last fall. It got rained out, so we moved our tickets to see the Braves minor league team coming to town and see what
The Clingstones.
the Clingstones are coming to town. So we're gonna see what they're all about.
Yeah. I got to go down. I still want to go to the game up here. I didn't make it to the opening series for the Smokies up here in Knoxville, unfortunately. But I would like to make it over there at some point in time. But they're off. They're gone this week, back next week. So maybe next week we'll see what happens. But I guess I'm just racing. Wife's working, so I'm just gonna be watching some racing. See what we can do. I suppose. Probably fire up the grill. It's that time of year. I might be down there. Might be coming back to get my truck sometime. I don't know. We'll see what happens. What day are y'all going to the Lookouts.
Saturday, and I got some more tickets for you if you want to go. Let me know. I got three.
No.
I got 3 spares. Because it's supposed to be
I
me,
might.
Amy, Ryan, Katie, Kaysen, but they're going to the baseball game
Yeah.
elsewhere.
I hear
In
you.
Nashville, they're going to the Savannah Bananas game in the Titans Stadium.
Oh,
So
that's not baseball. Oh, no,
that's it.
no, don't you start me on my Savannah Bananas rant. Golly. You know what? I've been feeling a rant coming on tonight. We went out to dinner for my buddy's birthday, and one of the girls was like, yeah, if you can go to the Savannah Bananas in Cincinnati on whatever weekend. And I was like, Savannah Bananas ain't baseball. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, Savannah Bananas is hot garbage. And they were like, what? And I was like, no. I would rather go to Disney on Ice than the daggone Savannah Bananas. I'm telling you right now, because that's what it is. Anyways, like, don't get it twisted. That ain't no baseball. It's a bunch of Chippendales actors out there shaking that bootay for the mommies who take their kids out there is what it is. Savannah Bananas is hot garbage. I did learn that apparently they play against like 4 different team names. I didn't know that. I thought it was just one. But I mean, like, bro, it's so much worse than the Harlem Globetrotters. At least those guys had talent. Savannah Bananas is like, I'm going to dance, and then somebody's going to throw 80 down the middle and a lob, and I'm going to jack it. And then, I mean, it's a disgrace to baseball. Good God, it's an absolute disgrace. Savannah Bananas is what's wrong with the world. I did hear that probably in 2 years they're going to have a new starter, though. Nico Iamaleava. Probably going to be on the Savannah Bananas.
Man.
That UCLA money's going to run out real quick. Roll Nico. By the way, since we're talking about other nonsense, Nico going to UCLA took a pay cut, boys. He took a pay cut. I talked about this on the start of the show last week. Pay cut. $2 million a year down to $1.6 a year in the state of California, paying state income tax of like 30%. Plus, I guess with how this NIL works out, it's like lump sum, so you got to pay 30% federal, and like he's gonna have to pay 20% state, and he's gonna get like $600,000 out of this deal. And his dad got caught on a daggum camera from the news in Knoxville, like TMZ here in the streets, looking to U-Haul. I need to figure out where that neighborhood is. I actually think I know where it is. I have some people that live in one that's close to campus that looked like that, and I was like, I bet that's where it is. But also, like, come on, dude, if we're getting $2 million a year, surely we can do better than a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Like, golly, that's one of the crappiest mobiles on the road. I mean, Dodge, if y'all come back to NASCAR, I'll let you have a Jeep. But until then, they're garbage. So sorry to anybody that drives one. But yeah, I don't know. That was the funniest thing I've seen in a while. Was the news out here like TMZ around the corner, like yeah, pretty pissed is what I thought. So congratulations to my coach, Josh Heupel, Tennessee Volunteers, teaching Nico I'm a loser a lesson and saving college football single-handedly. When the Lord and Savior Nick Saban's on your side, you've done the right thing, sir. Carry on. That's how we win championships. That's about all I got. Other than that, hammer down. Thank y'all for listening to the Caution Flag Contemplations podcast. Our theme music is Hard as Steel by Alex Productions. Thank you all for listening. Hammering down. Find a good race to watch. We'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, share. Please, Lord, like, subscribe, and share. I need all the help I can get. Down out.